Leadership arouses passion. The exercise and even the study of leadership stir feelings because leadership engages our values. Indeed, the term itself is value leading. When we call for leadership, is our organizations and politics, we call for something we prize. If one asks, would you rather be known as a leader or a manager, a follower or a leader? The response is usually a leader. The term leadership involves our self images and moral codes. Yet, the way we talk about leadership betrays confusion. On one hand, we use the word to denote people and actions of merit. During an election year, we want a leader for president rather than another politician. In our organizations, we evaluate managers for their leadership, by which we mean a particular constellation of valued abilities. When we look abroad, we fasten the term to people like, for example, Gorbachev, Lech Walesa, de Klerk, or Nelson Mandela. People we admire for their values, courage, commitment, and skill. On the other hand, we insist that the word leadership is value free. We say that Pablo Escobar, head of the Medellin cartel, was a leader, even if we detested his values, because he motivated followers to realize his vision. Our media routinely use the term leader to denote people in authority or people who have a following. We talk about the leader of the gang, the mob, the organization, the person who is given informal or formal authority by others, regardless of the values they represent or the product they play a key part in producing. We cannot continue to have it both ways. We may like the use word of leadership as if it were value free, particularly in an age of internet, science, mathematics, so that we can describe far-ranging phenomena and people with consistency. Yet, when we do so, we ignore the other half of ourselves, then in the next breath speaks of leadership as something we desperately need more of. We cannot talk about a crisis in leadership and then say leadership is value free. Do we merely mean that we have too few people in the midst who can gather a following? Surely we are not asking for more messiahs or Waco and Jonestown who meets people's needs by offering tempting visions of rapture and sacrifice. The contradiction in our common understanding clouds not only the clarity of our thinking and scholarship, it shapes the quality of leadership we praise, teach, and get. That is the whole purpose of our positive action values and positive action leadership, my fellow students. Let's continue discussing this topic. I will be asking some questions. Please review them, reflect them, or write them down. That will be your weekly activity. Understandably, scholars who have studied leadership have tended to side with the value-free connotation of the term because it lends itself more easily to analytic reasoning and empirical examination. But this will not do for them any more than it will do for practitioners of leadership who intervene in organizations and communities every day. Rigor in social science does not require that we ignore values. It simply requires being explicit about the values we study. There is no neutral ground from which to construct notions and theories of leadership, because leadership terms loaded with emotional content carry with them implicit norms and values. For example, when we equate leadership with holding high office or exerting great influence, we reinforce a tendency to value station and power. We are not simply studying or using power, we unwittingly communicate that power has intrinsic worth. We have to take sides. When we teach, write about and model the exercise of leadership, we inevitably support or challenge people's conceptions of themselves, their roles, and most importantly, their ideas about how social systems make progress on problems. Leadership is a normative concept because implicit in people's notions of leadership are images of a social contract. Imagine the differences in behavior when people operate with the idea that leadership means influencing the community to follow the leader's vision, versus leadership means influencing the community to face its problems. In the first instance, influence is the mark of leadership. A leader gets people to accept his vision, and communities others' problems by looking to him. If something goes wrong, the fault lies with the leaders. The second, progress on problems is a measure of leadership. Leaders mobilize people to face problems and communities make progress on problems because leaders challenge and help them solve. If something goes wrong, the fault lies with both leaders and the community. Second image of leadership mobilizing people to tackle tough problems is an image at the heart of discourse. This conception builds upon yet differs from the cultural dominant views. For example, in popular conceptions of politics, leadership generally refers to exercise of influence. The leader stands out in front in high office influencing others. The person may also be the most influential member of a popular movement, operating with little, if any, formal authority, such as Lech Walesa or the Ayatollah Khomeini before they took political office. In business, we see an evolution of the concept of leadership. For decades, the term leadership referred to the people who hold top management positions and the functions they serve. In our common usage, it still does. Recently, however, business people have drawn a distinction between leadership and management, and exercising leadership has also come to mean providing a vision and influencing others to realize it through non-coercive means. In the military, the term leadership commonly refers to people in positions of command who show the way, perhaps because warfare has played a central role historically in the development of our conceptions of leadership and authority. It is not surprising that the ancient linguistic root of the word to lead means to go forth, to die. In our time, leadership in the military aims to draw forth a person's highest qualities by influencing more than coercion. Be all that you can be implies preparation based on the potential that resides in the enlistees when they enter. In the final test, however, the troops achieve the goals prescribed by leaders in command. In biology, leadership is the activity of flying at the front of a flock of geese or maintaining order in social relations and food gathering. The leader has a particular set of physical attributes: big, colorful, fast, assertive. The leader functions as a focal point of attention, by which the rest of the group instinctively organizes itself. Leadership is equated with prominence and dominance. In horse racing, a field, some would say, bears to resemblance to politics. Leading simply means being out in the front. The jockey of the lead horse is leading nobody, except perhaps unintentionally, to the extent that other jockeys set strategy and strive harder to overtake him. There seem to be two common denominators of these various views: station and influence. Hence, many scholarly approaches to the study of leadership during the last 200 years focus on the phenomenon of prominent and influential people. Theorists ask the following important questions. Please, how and why do particular individuals gain power in an organization or society? What are their personal characteristics? What functions do they serve? How do they realize their vision? How do they move history, or does history move them? What motivates them? How do they motivate others? Please, my fellow students, analyze this brief video, reflect, and try to answer that question. That will be posted in the activity section in your brightspace. This is a first approach to values in leadership, which is the basis of our positive action leadership. Said this, I hope that you enjoyed this short video, and please complete your activity. Any questions, please feel free to contact me. Thank you and goodbye.